colleges. They're going to rural India and recruiting in young, naive, and desperate people.
These are 18-year-olds that have no support, no idea what's going on, and are getting taken advantage of from everybody that looks like them.
That was just a bit of a new documentary called Listen, highlighting the difficulties many South Asian female international students are facing once they arrive in Canada, some from within their own communities, including sexual exploitation. With more on this is the documentary filmmaker Inder Nirwan of Kahani Pictures. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So why did you want to make this?
Well, when the issue was brought up to us by concerned people within the South Asian community, particularly organizations that are working on domestic and student issues, it just felt like it was such an immediate, prevalent, and growing concern that we had to get the word out and get community and government and the school systems, like everyone, to start talking about this, because there hasn't been a concerted conversation around it yet.
And so is it prevalence around females?
Particularly, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of issues that international students face, one way or the other. But in this situation, there's just a lot of cracks for young female international students to fall through without very much support on the other side. So they don't have many people to turn to, and that creates a breeding ground for a lot of these predators to take advantage of these overlooked systems.
And so I guess, who are the predators? Where are they sort of lurking?
You know, and that's the thing. It's people that these students are meant to trust, right? It's their landlords, it's business owners, people giving them jobs, it's their peers. When they see them in struggling situations, they'll offer a helping hand, but then expect favors in return, and then they'll threaten them with things like deportation or you know, exposition, things that like they don't necessarily know what their rights around are, and that's used to the advantage of the predators who do understand those systems. And then, yeah, like I said, there's not really much in terms of people looking out for them, so what can they do?
And so I guess through the film, are you hoping to propose some solutions or offer awareness or advice?
This is an awareness campaign. I don't necessarily believe that we are in a place to offer solutions per se, just because it is such a complex issue. You know, there's political systems that are put into question. There's the schools themselves and what's really, you know, what's driving them to pursue international students as like a business opportunity. And then there's just the community writ large, just South Asian community. How do we deal with things like sexual misconduct and have those conversations? I don't believe that we are in a position to offer like, here's the solution, but really right now we just want to bring this conversation to the limelight so that as a community we can start having conversations around finding these solutions.
I guess, how did you start hearing about this, and were you shocked?
So this was brought to us by a number of organizations that work in domestic issues and student issues, particularly around South Asian experiences for people that are visiting here at a very grassroots level. So these are people that are working directly with these students, directly with people that are falling victim to, you know, these kind of things. And so they're the ones that understand firsthand how prevalent and how dangerous the situation is and how much it's been growing. So they came to us with the stats and the figures and the stories, and then asked us to amplify it through our means. Was I shocked? Yes, but I wasn't surprised. And you know, that is also part of the conversation.
It almost is expected, do you think, in the community, or not, or is just nothing that, I don't know.
Well, like I said before, you know, I think traditionally within our community as South Asians and as Canadians or South Asians that have now come to Canada to start new lives, there's a number of things that we still haven't really delved into much deeper as like, what is the community response to things? How do we bear responsibility as a community when it comes to individuals falling through individual cracks, right? So is it the individual's fault for having gone through this and now they're meant to find their own way out of it? Or do we as a community come together and say, no, this is, you know, we all have a part to play in this? These are just conversations we haven't really had effectively yet. And so I'm hoping that that's part of what will come out of raising the issue and hosting community screenings, hosting opportunities for people to join panel discussions and have conversations and bring those conversations home.
And I think this is a great idea to bring some awareness to it and hopefully create a situation where people are comfortable to start talking about it.
That's right. Well, you know, the film is called Listen, and I think one of the most important aspects of this is that we do need to start listening to survivors, respecting their experiences, and so much of what often happens, especially in the light of social media, and, you know, I'm thankful for this opportunity, but also in mainstream media, is that the opportunity for these stories to come out is quite limited, and the context building that needs to happen, the emotional resonance that needs to be made to really understand how and why people make the decisions that they did that got them in those situations, that needs to come forward more often. And so hopefully the film does that.
Where can people see it and when?
Great question. So we're just doing our initial community screening cycle right now. So there's a number of screenings that are happening. If you want to pay attention to where you can see it, you can visit our website at kahani.ca/listen, and all the information is there. And then it will be available online for free for widespread distribution in the coming weeks.
Fantastic. Well, it's very, very intriguing, and hopefully it does bring a lot of awareness and helps people.
I hope so
Thank you.
too. Thanks.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Inder Nirwan joining us. Thank you.